Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Christina McNeil, and this is NB12 for Thursday, June 28th, 2012, broadcasting from the Cable 12 studios on Robinson Road. In news tonight, how a 17-year-old murder suspect managed to escape the Princess Margaret Hospital and police custody. The National Security Minister reacts to public fears surrounding rape, increased benefits for public service workers, plus raising funds for young heart patients in desperate need of surgery. We have those stories and much more coming up tonight. Your NB12 starts right now. Thanks for joining us. A teenage boy believed to be involved in Monday's murder in Union Village has escaped from lawful custody at Princess Margaret Hospital. Authorities admit the 17-year-old managed to escape this morning despite the round-the-clock police presence enforced at PMH after a police officer was shot earlier this month by a suspect at that facility. The Commissioner of Police has reportedly ordered an investigation to determine how he escaped, even though he was being guarded by two officers. Vonique Toot reports.
Two police officers have a lot of explaining to do after a 17-year-old murder suspect they were guarding escaped from Princess Margaret Hospital's male surgical ward 2 at 3:30 this morning. Assistant Commissioner of Police Hewlin Hanna says at this point it's not quite clear who is responsible, but this incident does not make the Royal Bahamas Police Force look good.
Someone has to explain to the Bahamian public how is it that a person was able to escape after two police officers were assigned to the area.
Michael DeFriend was being treated at PMH for injuries sustained during Monday's stabbing incident in Union Village, which resulted in the murder of Javon Mullings. ACP Hanna says DeFriend has been hospitalized since that stabbing, adding that police were watching him because they have an active interest in him. Hanna denied reports that DeFriend picked the lock on his handcuffs before escaping.
This person was not handcuffed. He was in the hospital receiving treatment, inpatient treatment and care for an injury. And we have no reason to believe that he was handcuffed.
Assistant Commissioner Leon Bethel is overseeing this investigation, and an island-wide search has been launched for the suspect. ACP Hanna could not say how the 17-year-old managed to escape while being watched by two officers, but warned that if it is a result of negligence, disciplinary action will be taken.
The officer must do the due diligence. He is the person that is representing the commissioner. He's representing himself. He's representing the Bahamian people. He is the one that must see to it that a prisoner remain a prisoner. Okay? And so again, with not wanting to delve too much into that, we now have to find out why that did not happen. And if that did not happen because of negligence on the part of the officers, then consequences will follow.
DeFriend's escape from lawful custody also calls into question the effectiveness of the 24-hour police presence ordered by Commissioner of Police Alison Greenslade earlier this month after a suspect shot a young police officer who was guarding him at PMH before escaping. Not to mention, this is the fourth time a prison inmate or police suspect has escaped from PMH since December. Hanna admits it's a challenge.
From time to time, these things may happen, but whenever they happen, Tony, we have to be in a position to determine if the institution needs to do some more infrastructural upgrade. Do we, as a police force, need to look again at the numbers that we put at these places, or do we need to look at the actual people that we put there? Why is it that an officer may not be doing his job?
The Commissioner of Police is expected to receive a complete report on what happened this morning in short order. Reporting for NB12, I'm Vonique Toot.
Well, Minister of National Security Dr. Bernard Nottage says he doesn't think police were wrong for being silent on the recent rapes in New Providence. Nottage's defense comes after Long Island MP Loretta Butler Turner criticized the Christie administration for not speaking out about the issue and subsequent public backlash. Charisma Robinson reports.
While speaking to reporters at Her Majesty's prison today, Nottage said police handled the situation well without causing public panic among women.
It is not a political issue. It is nothing for the politician or the minister to be speaking about. What we are trying to do is keep the Bahamas safe. And we have to take advice from them as to how we ought to go about doing that. And in their judgment, they had some very good leads. They did not wish to tip anybody off as to their leads. And as you can see, over the past few days, they've arrested quite a number of persons, and they have very good evidence. And I'm satisfied that the way they're handling the matter is the proper one.
Earlier this week, a senior police official defended the decision of police not to issue a warning on rape until pressed on the matter by a Nassau Guardian reporter on Monday. Assistant Commissioner of Police Anthony Ferguson said the incidents were included in the police's daily crime reports as armed robberies or home invasions, but said the specifics of the sexual assaults were not spelled out to protect the victims. He added that police repeatedly warned people to be vigilant in areas where the alleged incidents occurred. When asked if he thought an earlier warning on the alleged rapes would have protected more victims, he said the police on a daily basis issue public awareness warnings advising people how to move about, how to be careful, how to take note of things that are around their premises, and all these security tips. The National Security Minister agrees that this was the right way to go about dealing with this matter.
While they may not make a public statement, what they do is alert people who live in those areas. For example, my home has been burgled several times, not recently. And I know why it's not been burgled recently, because there was a man who, anytime he got out of prison, it seemed as if he would come to the area in which I live and my house would be hit. It was only after a while that, and not only mine, but other people's homes in the area. So these people have patterns, and they have a pretty good idea about who it is that is carrying out these crimes and where they are likely to strike. And in those instances, what they tend to do is to go in those areas and alert the persons in those areas without creating what could be an unnecessary panic among women throughout the country.
Meantime, Nottage says the Christie administration has a zero-tolerance policy for criminals, and he is satisfied that the police are attuned to its mandate. Reporting for NB12, I'm Charisma Robinson.
The government will have to pay out an estimated $10 million to more than 16,000 public servants. Last night, the government inked a new 3-year industrial agreement with the Bahamas Public Service Union, retroactive to 2010. In this new agreement, the government has agreed to give workers a lump sum payment on their annual increments from 2012 in the next government pay period. BPSU President John Pinder says they also got an increase of $50.
But actually, we were trying to get them a general increase, and that was the best we could have done. Get them a lump sum payment to make up for the lost increment in the past, 2010. And we were able to get the government to the former government did open the salary scales by 2 steps to cover the length of this industrial agreement. And this government has also added the 1 increment to the base salaries. And so they will get their own increment in addition to an additional increment as a form of an increase in salary.
The BPSU has been pushing for increments and pay increases for its members for the past few years, resulting in industrial action. Earlier this year, the Ingram administration said the government was not in the position to make any incremental payments or salary increases because of the state of the country's finances. According to Pinder, workers will receive a minimum of $400 and a maximum of $1,000 in their July salaries. Additionally, he says a $50 increment starting in July is being considered a pay increase to base salaries, and for those who qualify, there's an additional $50 earn or merit increment.
The majority of the members is an average of $600 annually as an increment. So they expect to receive $600 as a lump sum payment in July, and then $50 added to their base salaries moving forward. And in addition to their earned increment, which may be another $50. So some places may realize a $100 increase in July, in addition to the $600 lump sum if the increment was $600 annually.
Pinder says this new industrial agreement is a short one because the former government didn't think it was wise to negotiate the standard 5-year agreement right before a general election.
We did present them with a proposal for a 5-year industrial agreement. They subsequently asked us to produce a 3-year industrial agreement. And so we produced one for 3 years, and in the negotiations, they were not able to complete them. They only wanted us to deal with the financial aspects of it, which should have been signed off prior to the elections. That's the reasons why the teachers were able to receive their lump sum payment in June pay package, and our members were not able to. This government had to look at it, and they had to find the financing for it, and apparently they were not in a financial position to make that obligation in the June pay package. We're now satisfied they'll do it in July.
Pinder says the industrial agreement signed does not cover all of the issues the union needs addressed, but it is willing to wait a year to start negotiations again.